Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and today we'll be watching another part of the Illuminati series. I've been doing a lot of, I guess, not reviews, reactions to compilation videos of a lot of this stuff, and a few people have mentioned that I really need to go and watch all four of the, or maybe there's five with Oz, all 4 or 5 of the original response videos from the Click, One Topic at a Time, Oz and Wonder. And I think Oz might have 2, or at least 1 for the moment. I don't know. There's a little missing conjecture here for that one. And then I can then readjust my opinion based on a few of my responses in my last video. A lot of people were mad that I was effectively victim blaming Oz. Well, here's my opinion on that one. Oz was definitely a victim of Blair. That's more than likely a huge possibility, at least from what I can tell. All right. Having said that, I still believe Oz is still responsible for his own choices when it comes to his own personal finances. They were not married. They were just dating. He still had to go in and sign his name to all these loans and things. He didn't. He was not forced to. This is not the same as, a parent taking a $100,000 loan out against their kid or their wife. This is not the same thing. Yes, it still sucks, but he still had a responsibility to himself. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter for the moment. I'm going to watch all the other videos, and maybe my opinion will change a little bit, but for the most part, I don't think that part will change too much. And yeah, a lot of people are going to absolutely disagree. That's fine. That's entirely up to you. But I'm not here to pander to every little person in the audience, all right? You can like it. You can dislike my channel. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Your opinion matters, but so does mine, all right? And it's not the same. I don't consider that victim blaming. It would be a different scenario, I think, if Illuminati and Oz were married and then Illuminati was, taking out loans against his name or everything else like that. But because they were dating, I still consider that Oz had a responsibility and a personal responsibility, and he chose to take these loans with, Illuminati in mind. The biggest issue I had with Oz was signing that contract thinking it would fix a relationship. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why you would do that. And yeah, you guys can tell me in the comments why you think you would have done it to fix a relationship. But, that doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, let's watch the Click's response.
Do the classic YouTube addressal thing, and then I turn on the camera. No, okay, let's skip that.
Also, Swoop did a disservice to the Click. The Click's voice is amazing. I know why Swoop sped it up, but jeez.
Well, good evening.
Oh my God, it's even better.
Lazos and Lazos, welcome to the Click. You smell amazing today. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise.
Huh? That's a little weird response. I'm gonna guess that's just something Click does on his videos.
Excuse the mess. I'm in the process of upgrading my PC for streaming. I very much need to upgrade. I realize some of the PCs I have in it are 8 years old. So yeah, time flies, doesn't it? So I wasn't really planning on recording anything for a couple of days, but a situation came up that I couldn't really ignore, and I think it's time I talked about it.
For what I understand, a lot of what happened with the Click happened on the Sad Milk thing, which he mentioned up here, but it also had to do with the insanity that ensued in his Discord, which I am fairly certain was a setup.
So this video is going to be a bit more scripted than usual, hence while I'm reading here, yes, I can read, to stay on topic and be as concise as possible. My intention is that this is the last address of this situation. I've gone back and forth about how I wanted to make this video, and I think it's been a long time coming. I don't feel great about bringing drama to my main channel, as I know that's not what people are here for.
To be fair to the Click and a lot of the people who have accused Illuminati of crazy stuff, crazy and probably well-deserved stuff, they really have stayed true for the most part, only doing their one response video and then kind of trying to attempt to move on for the most part.
For a little bit of context, I made a thread a few days ago outlining in rough
Yeah,
detail
this like
why I
kicked
left
it
the
off
old
like
Sandwich
crazy.
collaboration channel, partially to clarify that I wasn't associating with Illuminati anymore in more recent events and my reasoning for that. She kept getting into trouble and people kept asking me about it and kind of roping me into it. This blew up way more than what I intended and also made some other people come forward with their own stories, both in private and in public. The old Sandmilk members, old editors, ex-staff, you name it. And this whole thing blew up way more than I ever intended it to. Commentary channels picking it up, making stories, viral videos.
All right, so I watched this one personally. This is the Illuminati's video, and yeah, there was some crazy random accusations from her in this video. And the thing she did to Wonder with that note was literal insanity. Is it the worst thing I've seen on YouTube? No. Should it be? Also, no, but why would she think this was a good idea? I mean, it was crazy thinking that well, I think the problem was her original followers got behind her on this video at first. That was the big thing. And it was it was because she released the video first. She was trying to get ahead of everything, which smart, but if she there were so many things she should have just skipped. She should have just done the illegal thing and done the same V2 approach and ignored everyone else.
It was interesting to see, for sure. A response video was made by her, which, among other things, dove into some pretty gnarly accusations about myself and presented a very dark picture about my morals, my Discord, and how I run things in my community. I wrote out a few different scripts for this video, some of them very long and extensive, but after some reflection I realized I don't want to drag this out. I'm not a drama channel and I don't work with hit pieces. My main grievance with Illuminati wasn't necessarily the best.
Side note, if anyone ever sees the Clicks channel, and I'm sure you've seen this video 100 times before, go subscribe to his channel. He's like a meme content channel and it's pretty funny.
Behavior that made me leave. It's in the past and she lost many friends over it. I think I can let that speak for itself. My main grievance was her insistence to create new rumors and slander about myself, one topic, and others.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree to that one. She has sock puppet accounts galore, which is just ridiculous. But I think the thing that most people kind of glossed over is when you create one sock puppet account, no one creates one sock puppet account. They create a bunch. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of miss that. There's no way Doobie Smirch is just the only sock puppet account she uses.
After we left,
Allegedly.
and how she wouldn't leave us alone. This was super hard to address in any capacity, as she rarely made the accusations directly, always talking through someone else's mouth or hyping up some young impressionable fan or associate to the point they would try to expose me, or simply vague posting on Twitter with very suggestible timings. I will reference all of this later on in the video. Very easy for me and my colleagues to tell where all this was coming from, but really hard to actually prove to an outside audience. Therefore, almost impossible to defend yourself against.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you have a bunch of sock puppet accounts, and then you have the main person who is the only person that knows this information, and they're pushing it to the sock puppet accounts, it's obviously coming from that one person, right? But the problem is, how are you going to prove to everyone else around you that this is that one person with the sock puppet account? I mean, if you're going to create a sock puppet account and you're actually smart about it, you're going to do it on a VPN. You're going to do it potentially on a virtual private server of some kind. And then you're going to then create accounts that aren't even linked to it in any way and then try to create them separately. Note, I'm in cybersecurity, so this actually happens a lot more than you might think.
The talking points she tried so hard to sneakily spread for the longest time are actually the exact same talking points she brought up in her video. And I was also sent evidence of this by an ex-staff of hers that reached out to me during all this. So even though it was not my intention, my thread that ultimately led to her video pretty much baited out the fact that she was the one behind these claims and ideas all along. I also have full receipts for everything later on in the video. So I'm going to address...
Oh, someone who has full receipts. That's always nice. Let's take a look at
her most grievous allegations, factually and concisely, with full receipts, context, and any additional information that...
So what's interesting is if the Click had the most receipts, it's funny that the Click can't be sued because he's in a different country. Or rather, she could sue him, but it's like monumentally more difficult. It's much easier to sue those around you that you kind of had a bit of control over. Oz would be an easy one for the lawsuit. and Wonder, obviously. And then there's another guy, but that's a whole different thing, I think.
Might be needed. Finally, after 2.5 years, I get to set the record straight. Number 1, the Discord situation. Content warning, mention no predatory behavior.
See, this is actually, I guess I have a different take in this area than a lot of people, because a lot of people didn't even think about the fact that the predatory behavior in the adult topic situation was potentially like a setup.
Here and adult topics. The situation brought up mentions a pedo joining my Discord. It is said that neither I nor my team took action against this predatory person and actively chose to do nothing to resolve the situation.
See, because of Blair's use of sock puppet accounts, how do we know that this predator who joined the Discord server wasn't Blair? Allegedly using a sock puppet account along with the 12-year-old, also a sock puppet account, because it all happened in a very, very specific, conspicuous point of time. That's what really confused me.
Situation. Basically just letting them run amok. Click did not address it or wasn't fast enough, etc. Here are the DMs of said creep. Full use.
Let's see here. Wow.
Name, etc. that she has already showed in her video. Now, the first detail that was conveniently left out of the accusations is that I was asleep. In my time zone, this occurred around 2 a.m. and
yeah, the worst part about this, aside from the fact that the click was asleep, obviously, which perfect time to time this, is Blair has this weird habit of like sitting on information, which, by the way, is also equally bad. Because if you have information about a predator of some kind, and you're just like, well, I'm just going to tuck this into my file for future to use against you as blackmail 2 years from now. Okay, why not do something about it now? And she's like, nah, it's not worth it to me monetarily, or I can't blackmail you for more power over you, so not worth it.
Within the
Mama Max did this stuff too, by the way.
span of me sleeping, this random creep in question had already gotten banned. I took the liberty to dig through the old ban logs on my server, and here it is. He was banned at 2:14.
Okay, great. Banned. Okay, perfect. Okay, and this is in the morning when you're sleeping. Okay, perfect.
a.m. my time zone. She brought one topic into a chat room as she shown.
Okay, so it is the same day. Let's see here. In click server and click knowing. See, this is the weird part. That last paragraph by Illuminaughtii really just makes it seem like this was all a setup.
In her video and her accusations. However, her statement in these DMs about click knowing is very odd, as I would have been very unconscious when the ban was happening. She might be referring to me knowing by the time I woke up, but the fact...
Maybe maybe she was referring to the fact that she messaged the click before, and once she sends a message out, that means they automatically know.
Remains I wasn't there, nor did
It's like guilt by association.
I endorse this random creep. Hey, I don't mean to bother you, but can we talk soon when you're free? I'm in a bit of a conundrum and I don't know what to do.
Okay, I guess Click's admins were in a bit of a kerfuffle a little while ago.
What's going down? Can I call? GF is getting ready for work. How sensitive is the topic? Very. It involves the P word. What is going on? In Click server and Click knowing. 19-year-old and 12-year-old combo public server, blah, 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 did nothing. And this was on the heels of Click's admin sending naughty stuff. And one topic says, hang on, I'll walk over to my mic. Okay, ready? Thank you, always. But as stated, a ban was...
One topic's like, yeah, I'll wait.
already issued before I even woke up. About 14 hours before Blair brought this up with OT.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess...
if her timestamps are correct. So this was actually not a ban I was even personally involved with. It's also important to note that this is, sadly, the norm. Our server alone has 44...
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. I've got a Discord server with like 100 people in it. Do you know how hard it is to keep people not being stupid? Because we have a lot of people in our server who are 18 and up, and now while they're not like super creeps or weirdos, they do post things that are 18 and up sometimes, and sometimes they're like, oh, by the way, my kid's in the server. And we're like, what? So we're like, They had to make new rules.
4,000 members and almost 3,000 bans. It is a well-known fact that Discord has real problems when it comes to exploitative individuals and communities using their platform.
Yeah, Discord doesn't have the world's best moderator anything or moderator tools.
We as creators do our best to clean this up as well as the platform teams. Neither I nor my team condone this sort of exploitative behavior and do our best to address it when it comes to attention. This isn't a clicks Discord issue, it's a Discord issue.
It's a forum issue in general, but Discord doesn't help.
By the time I woke up, the staff spaces were in chaos. I assume she had asked...
Yeah, so this is where it gets really confusing for me, because all the staff are freaking out. What the heck happened here? That's what matters to me, at least in this scenario. This is where I think it's actually like a setup, because why not just ban the person and be done with it, right? But if you can cause as much chaos as possible, you can force all the staff to leave this server, which seems to be what Illuminati wanted to do.
Asked her crossover staff to leave my server after the two teams clashed,
see?
fighting, tossing around odd allegations, and blame. Keep in mind, the creep that joined the VC was already banned for...
Yeah, and guess what? If this was Illuminati on a sock puppet account, it would have caused the perfect amount of damage at the perfect amount of time when no one was really online or paying that much attention. It was literally set up for the perfect timing, which is why I think it's really suspect. And yeah, it could just be coincidence, but I don't know. I've never heard anyone else come up with this crazy tinfoil hat theory.
many hours. And this is what I saw when I woke up in the morning. Tons of messages in staff chats, arguments, white names from people leaving. I tried to get an explanation to what had happened, and it took me a good few hours to dig through everything. Talk to people.
Here's the problem, though. When you have cross Discord mods, they're going to have multiple mod channels. So what's going to happen is you're only going to know part of the story in your own mod channel, but they're going to be also talking in their mod channels on the other server that they're in. In this case, this was half of Illuminati staff who were freaking out and just and she was stoking the fire, which is why I keep pushing that this is really suspect.
People try to de-escalate and evaluate who had done wrong, and so on. The situation recap wasn't exactly presented to me on a silver platter. In the allegations against me, it is claimed that I didn't react or respond to the situation. Number one, being at sleep at 2 a.m. detail was completely left out.
Sorry, that's not good enough, Click. You need to be up 24/7, 8 days a week. 12 days a week. There we go. That's better.
2, the fact that he was actually banned before this whole thing was left out. And 3, a receipt of Illuminati reaching out to me to get me to respond wasn't shown in her video or allegations. And the reason for this is that it doesn't exist.
Ooh.
The person who reached out to resolve this was actually myself. And here are the DMs where I did so. Probably worth...
Okay. So it's a few hours later. Yeah, she was basically terminally online at this point. Okay, the best part is all actions have been carried out, yada, yada, yada. Person was banned, yada, yada, yada. And Illuminati's like, oh, I'm proud of you, but obviously lying.
Worth going to you too, as this thing seems to be blowing up. What have you seen of the recent events on the server? If we got time, I think a quick VC would be good, because this is going on the warpath, it seems. Warpath referring to the teams arguing and fighting, not actually the ban itself, as I said.
That's the thing. That's the thing that bugs me about the teams arguing and fighting. Most of the teams probably wouldn't have had any idea what the heck was going on unless Illuminati went out of her way to make this into its giant cluster F fireball.
That had been issued 16 hours before this
this person was already banned before Illuminati even knew what was going on.
Conversation took place. One sec, I'm on a call with OT. Can I bring him in too? Sure, no problem. Here is a zip file, which is all the images that she showed in her video of the DMs with the creep, etc., etc. By the way, gonna talk to my admins in 15. That's when this person is back and can VC. Okay, I'm writing in the group DM right now. I will let you guys know when all actions have been carried out. I am proud of you. It sounds from this chat, starting from the time I was caught up on the night's events to the time after our voice call, that it worked out quite well. Of course, important to note that this conversation was also an outreach to resolve the Discord Teams issue, not about the ban itself. To further clarify, the ban had been issued 16 hours before this conversation and before I ever woke up. And yes, it was later brought to my attention that there were a couple of mods who failed to act initially. This was evaluated by me and the team to take proper action. It's important to keep in mind that these people aren't trained law enforcement.
They're also not paid. Mods, by the way, it is rare to ever see a paid mod on anything. All right, these people are doing it for fun and because they really like your channel and they're obsessed with you or whatever. Most of these people are not paid. If you're paying mods, okay, fine. That's a little bit different, and then you can treat it like a kind of job and their responsibility.
But community volunteers. Myself and the admin team I work closely with do our best to resolve any situations that occur in the Discord. Also important to know that this screenshot from the group call that she brought up is...
Maybe this would be better if you were forced to pay your mods money. Imagine that. Imagine channels being forced to pay mods money. Man, people will be demanding more Patreon subscriptions. Let's see here. I read one. Don't want access to these screenshots. Okay. That's a little interesting,
simply
but whatever.
OT not wanting some random creep statements in his work drive.
Well, yeah, it's probably Illuminaughti's.
It's not that he was so
Allegedly.
torn up about my disgusting Discord, as is insinuated in the video for some reason. If OT was really so disgusted with me and how I run things, isn't it odd that we've been close friends for the 2.5 years after this happened? It's a very odd thing to try to twist in her video.
Oh, right. Her video was saying that one topic was like disgusted with Click's Discord based off of these things, but she twisted it. She totally twisted it around to where it was it had nothing to do with the original context of the question.
Of course,
I remember
she would
that.
retell the story quite differently to anyone who would listen. Here's a screenshot where she's sharing that same group call and saying, "This is that call where I railed Click for not doing anything for
Well, that doesn't make sense. This was all within a few minutes, right? Yeah, this was within 12 hours, and she says it's months. Oh, see, look, see where it says Alpha Dorito right there? I mean, how many alternate accounts does this person have? maybe that's her name in Discord or whatever, but still.
months. Note that this date is in October, a couple of weeks after we had left Sad Milk. The statement about us leaving was made in November, but we had actually left a month prior. So the twisting of these events have been going on for quite a while. As for the staff member sharing inappropriate artwork in Discord,
let's see here.
this happened about 5 weeks prior, so
The timestamp might be okay. 5 to 9 weeks. Okay. That's right. The U.S. does dates completely wrong compared to everywhere else in the world.
not sure why it's being tied into all this, but I can say from experience with running Discord servers that it happens every few months that a staff member misbehaves and is removed from the team.
Well, yeah, that happens all the time with Discord mods. Don't forget, when you get a Discord mod or any mod for anything, it's just a volunteer who happens to seem stable enough at the moment. But a lot of mods can just fake that temporarily until they actually get a little bit of power, and then they go off the deep end.
Oftentimes, it leads to a couple of staff members getting removed, as troublemakers tend to enhance each other. This specific individual was removed from the team by me. The individual had been slowly spiraling, starting off with passive-aggressive behavior towards other staff and minor misdemeanors. When they failed to improve their behavior after a feedback session, and also got worse when they started sharing not safe for work artwork in staff chats, they were removed. I think it's an important specification that it was lewd artwork and not real-life nudes. I actually talked to Illuminaughtii one-on-one about this very thing. As you can see from this
Dog. So it's interesting is because Illuminati is like, I'm not concerned about this. It's just, it was a little thing, but it's just odd, just saying. And so here she's basically okay. So she has her name Illuminati again versus Alpha, whatever. So that's the thing. So she's in private, she's a completely different person versus what she's doing in public right now. She's like, not now, a year ago when this was first coming out, she was bashing everyone in public, saying that there's terrible, horrible people there. Just they don't do anything right. This is just all awful. They allow all this horrible stuff in their servers, but in the background, she's like, oh no, you guys are doing great. Yeah, they're a little bit concerned about this one thing, but it's not a problem. Fair enough, okay. What a jerk.
Chat, this was already resolved a while back by that time. In the same conversation, we also talk about the out-of-context other screenshots she shared in her own video. It's odd, if she wanted to paint a full picture of these events, she didn't include my own words on the matter.
Why would she? The whole point is to paint everyone but her in the best light possible.
but just insinuations. Words she had access to this whole time. We did set up a rule set after the event occurred that the mod chat should live up to the same standards as the rest of the server rules, to avoid people getting carried away with their friends in mod chat.
Well, that's true. I mean, you probably should have had mod chat being the same server rules all around, but that's a minor annoyance.
Furthermore, the individuals who partook were directly talked to and accepted that what they had shared wasn't server appropriate. I do also believe we demodded one of the instigators, who was a bit of a troublemaker, but it's a long time ago. I don't recall the names. Again, this is a situation I personally...
Names on Discord are irrelevant, though, because you can literally change your name per Discord server. I have 12 different names on different Discord servers. That doesn't mean anything. They're just aliases.
Addressed once it was brought to my attention. It sadly happens sometimes that people in your community do or say things that you yourself don't endorse or stand for. I think every creator can relate to that fact.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, more people are more annoyed when I speak.
I think it's about how you build your community in general, what values you endorse, and how you act when situations happen. Because situations will happen. And to be clear, the chats were cleaned out because I wanted to ensure the chats were as safe as possible. In retrospect,
he cleaned out the... okay, so he cleaned out the public chats as well as the server chats. Okay. But at least... So there's technically no evidence to the contrary in this part, but he's... At least he's not also copying evidence to hold on to and blackmail people with later, right?
I do believe the situation escalated to the point it did, so she could replace my staff and have more control over my Discord and community. But it's hard to tell if it's intentional or a byproduct of...
So that's the thing. Let me double check that right here. That's actually something that's pretty important. At least to me. Let's go back a little bit.
In general, what values you endorse and how you act when situations happen. Because situations will happen. And to be clear, the chats were cleaned out because I wanted to ensure the chats were as safe as possible. In retrospect, I do believe the situation escalated to the point it did, so she could replace my staff and...
Okay, so yeah, this is where my little tinfoil hat theory comes into play. The whole point of this was to clear out staff that she didn't like. So she basically forced a narrative while the clique was sleeping, potentially with a fake account, to create a scenario that would cause a huge, massive rift in the chat and get a ton of people kicked out at once, where she could shove her own employees back into place. And that would help take over the server. That would actually be a smart way to do it if that was what she was thinking. Wrong? Yeah, sure. Smart? Yeah. No one caught on.
And have more control over my Discord and community. But it's hard to tell if it's intentional or a byproduct of just constant conflict escalation.
I would probably say it's mostly intentional, because a lot of the way she was reacting was like sweet to the clique and one topic while in these chats, but then like outwardly like bashing them behind the scenes with her mods, which is what was causing all this conflict in between. And then eventually there was just a tipping point, and these guys left the sad milk stuff, and then she just started outwardly bashing them to their faces.
And nitpicking. And if you still don't believe me, you can check out my Discord yourself. It's linked in every description of my channel, and my staff and I do our best to make it as wholesome and supportive as possible. We have chill chat rooms, meme channels, a Minecraft community server, art contests, edits, and fan art sharings.
Shameless plug. Still worth it.
Stream clips channels, you name it. It's just Discord. A good vibe. So I'm surprised it's being painted in such a dark way when it...
Yeah, most Discord's painted in a dark way.
It's right there. You can
that's
actually
not
just
anything
go look.
Out of the ordinary.
Nice little Discord plug. Hashtag sponsored by my Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. Number 2, click using abhorrent language.
Oh yeah, he used the N-word and the R-word, okay? Yeah, I mean, I get this. This one does make sense to a degree. If you're an American... But guess what, people? It doesn't matter if you're on the internet. Those words don't mean the same things every single place in the world, and it doesn't help that we put all these things in our video games, TV, and music and just blare it across the world. So if anything, we're partially responsible for this nonsense.
Language. Content warning, mention of slurs. I will be brief here, because there isn't really much substance. She claims I was tossing around slurs when gaming with friends. The only evidence she has in a group chat where she's...
Let's see here. So here's the thing about Oz. Oz may have been lying at this point, because both him and Wonder have admitted that they lied at certain points when Click was supposedly saying these words. The problem is we don't 100% know which ones were real or not, and whether or not it really matters, because I don't know. See, so like the R word, the R slur. I don't know if Oz was actually accurate right here, because it wasn't really frowned on until maybe the early 2015s in Europe. Man, I used to hear that all the time when I lived around there. And it wasn't used as a really a derogatory sentence against people with disabilities. It was used as another version of people doing stupid things. So that's the thing. So I don't know. Just pulling up something online, thinking that you know exactly what the actual slang of where you grow up is going to be the same based off of what the internet says is a bit of a stretch for me. So I don't know if I don't know. I think Oz was kind of just blinded by I need to please my girlfriend here, because I'm pretty sure Oz was dating Illuminaughtii at this point. But I'm not going to get too much into that. And then the other problem we have is we have people literally in the U.S. all the time use that word for every random little thing. And it's in what do people actually ever really do about it? They're like, oh, I don't really like that word. And they're like, so what are you going to do about it? Answer is nothing. For the most part, nothing. The only time you ever really get slammed for using words is on the internet. For the most part, the majority of people rarely get hit for using anything other than the N-word. And even then, depends on, your race in that case. But, geez. I mean, the problem is words are words, and they mean different things to different people and different connotations. But, yeah, I get why they're wrong, but I also get why it's not really an internet problem.
Talking to Adiwazi, Uwu, among a few others. So it isn't an actual receipt of anything I did or said. It's not even a conversation I'm in, but just a few anonymous names venting in a group chat. However, to try to make sense of this, I actually asked Oz about this screenshot directly, and he had this to say. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the...
Let's see here. Yeah, so it looks like Oz says that they were actually lying about this part, or over-embellishing it, which is a lie, by the way.
The R-slur thing was about. I not only don't have any memories of it, but would only have to assume based on my past actions that I either A, over-embellished to further feel accepted of the tone of one instance.
Yeah, and the best part about this nonsense that Illuminaughtii harped on this whole time is the fact that she herself was using these words either when she was working back on Shop to the Point with Tommy C, or just in general in the background. But because it wasn't written down somewhere or recorded somewhere, that's all that matters. She did a very good job of deleting a lot of her past history. She didn't do every good job. There's a lot of videos still out there of her doing really stupid things. But it's pretty hypocritical of her to say nonsense like this.
Never, of course, realizing the damage it would cause. I'm sorry about this if that is the case. B, Blair and I had discussions in relation to this and had created a behind-the-scenes narrative of what to say. This was also very common when we lived under the same roof. C,
yeah, it looks like they kind of, okay, when they were both dating, it kind of looks like they both kind of contributed to that in a way. I'm not saying that Oz is an abuser as well, against like the Click and whatnot and Wonder and whatnot. But I wouldn't say Oz is 100% in the clear if they were having discussions on how they were going to control the narrative here. So I know a lot of people like to harp on the fact that Blair was obviously financially abusive to Oz. Yeah, and probably abusive in other ways. But I mean, this right here just proves that Oz was not necessarily 100% always just following everything she did. He actively had discussions on how they were going to control the narrative for her channel and on their stuff in the back end. So that's not yeah. The Click forgave him. Great. That's fantastic. But it's not 100%, you're not guilty of doing this.
There was also watching how Blair would twist and omit truths to people. While I don't have any direct proof of this, I will say that watching Blair just say the right amount of truth to people to get their praise and adoration may have swayed me to...
Yeah, and that's all it really takes. You only need just a little bit of truth mixed in with a bunch of bullshit. And that's unfortunately kind of how a lot of the world works. And that's not just with the internet and all the, drama channels and whatnot, which I'm sure a bunch of people are going to bash me in comment sections for. It's just how everything works. I've seen this happen in business. I've seen this happen in the IT world. I've seen this happen when I worked at restaurants.
to do the same. Edit, there's also a chance that you said this like way back in 2019. I think the language I used in the group chat was more to put distance between us, not great on my part. It would have to be one of those, or a mix, honestly, because I don't...
Doesn't even seem like Oz actually even cares if he used that word, honestly.
remember you saying it. Not saying it didn't happen, of course, but I don't have any memories of it. I'm sorry for the pain that comment cost, man. Apologies will never, of course, repair the actions.
I would laugh if it came out that Illuminaughtii logged into Oz's Discord on his side, like because they lived in the same house potentially at this point. And oh wait, no, she might have been dating Azothan back in 2019. I don't know when she was dating Oz, but I was gonna say if she had access to his Discord and then just made this post and it was her talking to herself with both their chats, I wouldn't put that past her. But I don't know if they were dating at this point because I thought she was dating Azothan in 2019, which means 2020 might be too quick. I don't know.
That I've made, and when all this went down. I'm sure there is more shitty things I've done or said that I honestly for the life of me can't remember. As for Blair claiming to use abhorrent language such as the N-word, the only evidence she ever gave us was, by her word, claiming that when the two of you are playing Dark Souls 3, you refer to enemies or shadows or ash as N-lets.
That's funny.
Or something along the lines of that in December of 2019. This was not brought up until after Sad Milk split.
Oh yeah, which means she just holds on to data. And she's like, okay, well, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to put this little bit of information I know about you in this folder, and then I'm going to lock it, and then I'm going to wait. And then when you finally piss me off, I'm going to release it to everyone. Yeah, that sounds like a stable person.
And to be clear, I don't hold a grudge about this against Oz in the least. I can't say for sure, but to me it looks like Oz was just being pushed to prove his loyalty in a way. I wish you all the best, man, and I hope you get to rebuild your channel or whatever you want to do with your life.
I think they actually have like gaming groups now between like him, One Topic, and the Click. I don't know if Wonder's in it, but I think they actually have had a video where they. So from what I understand, is the majority of that friendship is mostly fixed.
Before we move on, I'm just going to point out some funny hypocrisy.
Okay, yeah,
she
that's what I
said
want to
she
see.
would never be friends with someone that used that language. Yet she regularly played games with me as a friend during this time.
Yeah, that's definitely hypocrisy right there. I mean, you can't just be like, I'm never gonna be friends with that person, but then you continuously play games with them for weeks and months on end, and collab with them on channels and stuff like that, while also having a past where you did the exact same shit.
Where I allegedly kept on saying these things. Which one is it? I don't think you can have both. And to add an extra layer of transparency on my own behalf, I didn't actually know the R word could be considered derogatory up until maybe 2020.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still don't consider it derogatory in the U.S. And that's, I mean, it is. Okay, let's just put it this way. It is. But a lot of people don't. They either don't consider it derogatory or they don't care. They don't care enough because they're not using that word isn't going to get you fired in most places. The N-word could get you fired depending on who you are and how you use it, but the majority of words can't get you fired. And even then, I mean, we can blame our own TV shows, music, and pretty much all other media we have in America, and which continuously uses these words with no restrictions. So, who are we really gonna blame here?
So it's possible I said it before that point, but I don't recall specifics. When people came to me around this time and told me they had had a word used against them simply for being neurodivergent, I was surprised, as that had not been the case around.
When you use it like that, it's absolutely a slur.
on me when I grew up, but I personally stopped using it in my content or for posts I read out, and also did my best to remove jokes containing the word in older content, simply because...
And it's funny is he didn't actually have to do that, so he was being really nice to his audience when he decided to go through and remove old content stuff with that word in it. Even he could just move forward on the new stuff, and he still didn't have to remove it because it's not really a word that's really flagged that much on YouTube. Like YouTube doesn't even really flag it. So it's not really one of those words that it might flag it first. Maybe you could hit limited ad revenue. I don't know. Half my stuff is never monetized, so what would I know? I make $1 a day on 430 videos. So take that as you will. But yeah, and I mean, it was really cool of him to do that. He didn't have to, but it's still pretty interesting that he actually went out of the way to do that.
I didn't want my community to get the wrong idea about the values I held. I personally don't find the world too outrageous and still hear it on a regular basis on YouTube or in the online world.
Oh yeah, it's in a lot of the drama channels. It's all over the place. Lots of channels use it just on the regular. I have people in my street, they use it all the time, but maybe I just have a garbage neighborhood. Probably true. But I mean, just people use it all the time, and I still hear the N-word all the time.
But I did opt out of using it in my content after this was being brought up to me by my fans. 3. She regrets our friendship and regrets helping me fix my wrongful channel turn.
Oh yeah, that was weird. He lost his channel for some reason. I can't remember what that was about. Okay, I've never heard of a YouTuber having enough pull to actually help get another channel back. That doesn't make any sense. Especially a YouTuber only has like 1 million subscribers. That's not a big enough YouTube channel. Maybe Mr. Beast could help you get your channel back. Maybe. Anyone with 25 million plus might have extra pull. Charlie might have extra pull, even though he's only like 10 million.
Termination, dude.
He just seems to know a lot of people on YouTube.
Content warning. It sucks to have your channel deleted.
Why was it deleted? Do we actually know the reason for this one? I don't know if it's mentioned here.
I don't know, man. This is just a punch under the belt, isn't it? Why was this in the video? To be clear, my channel was restored by the help of my network, which is a service I pay for. She might have tagged YouTube on Twitter or chat.
He's part of an MCN? Is that what they're called? I can't remember.
Added with support, and I appreciate my friends who had my back throughout all this. I even thanked them in my return video, her included. Here it is. But the fact remains, she wasn't the one who saved my channel. If you want to get into specifics, Oz and Salty are the ones who networked me with this network initially. But the rest was done.
Oh, well, she's obviously claiming to save your channel based off of the fact that she was with Oz at that point, possibly. That's the whole point. It's just by association for her.
By myself and the network. We fought for 3 weeks over Christmas to get my channel back. Very odd high horse to try to climb on top of and claiming I should have lost my entire livelihood because of the events stated earlier in this video.
I kind of wanted to hear why his channel was deleted in the first place. Did he get like a ton of strikes from a bunch of random people who just hated his video?
Jeesh, man. On a happy note, here's a little celebration chat.
I don't know how you could hate Click's voice. I could listen to him talk about paint drying for hours.
Had with my network rep after we got the channel back. Wee! Emojis! Whoa!
Yeah, he wasn't even given a single strike. That's crazy. Oh, what the heck happened?
Number 4. The Illuminati smear campaigns. Content warning, vulgar language, mentions of predatory behavior. These following screenshots are reflective of behavior I think we have all seen, that the community can and has attested to. Vague tweets happened, whether you were a former friend or a current one, so it was clear to anyone who had experienced this before. But it's the specific timing I would like to bring attention to. Here is sad...
Yeah, okay. So she was really good at... at subtweeting, or not even just sub-posting. And I don't even know how many alternate accounts this takes, but geez, you could do a lot of damage with 5 accounts.
Milk posting on the 1st of November, 3:28 a.m. that Salty ENQUIRIES will not be continuing the new journey with Sad Milk and we're leaving the channel.
Great.
And here's a tweet from Illuminaughtii saying...
Yeah. Look at this. Oh, okay, so she keeps changing her names apparently, or has multiple different Discord names, which doesn't help at all. I assume this was Okay, so it was probably that name for Halloween, and just hadn't been changed yet. But yeah. This is obviously a subtweet meant for one specific reason. That's
Saying
just
casual
to
reminder,
bash someone.
pedophilia is never a gray area. It is wrong. If someone you know won't take action, then they are complicit to the problem, and so on and so forth. And here are some of the threads.
Oh, jeez. I wonder if this person's like, delete me from your videos.
In isolation, there is nothing wrong with this statement. It's one that I obviously support. However, the timing certainly struck us and the community as odd.
See, this is where I think the timing of that that first one in the in his original Discord was suspect. I think this was all one giant massive plan.
Immediately after announcing her departure from Sad Milk, within 3 hours, this statement was made by Illuminati and retweeted by Sad Milk. This, as anyone would know, started many rumors. Worth mentioning.
Oh yeah, that would totally start rumors. That's crazy. But yeah, but that also strengthens my resolve on that theory.
She also pushed Wonder to release a hit piece video on myself and OT back in 2021.
Let's see here. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
When Wonder left, she retracted her support by removing her comment under the video. Wonder has since then retracted the video and apologizes for the false insinuation it contained, and I hold no grudge against him. I wish him the best in telling his own story and living his best life. He's a sweet guy who got caught up with the wrong people. She deleted the Sad Milk community tab after my Twitter thread, where I
Jeez. Let's see here. People were there for...
referenced her manipulation of comment sections and vague posting in order to spread rumors or manipulate the public.
I wonder, I do have a question. Does ratioing actually work? I mean, YouTube kind of removed the ability to see ratios without like plugins, right? Or something like that. I don't even have the ability to look and see. I can see my likes, but the dislikes don't ever really pop up on my screen.
Image of us on the collab channel. So here's the deleted community tab, and the older screenshots I have from the community tab look like this. Better without click, and you can see there are multiple comments that ratio this. I mean, obviously the channel had a lot of my audience as crossover. And a couple hours later, oh my god, all the ratioing comments are just magically gone, so it looks...
Oh yeah. Someone likes to go in and delete comments. There was another creator that does this. Essence of Thought, I think, is the one that does this. They monitor every individual that that goes into their section, and it doesn't matter. You could have 1,000 comments that hate everything about what they're saying, and you'll never see any of it because they have it blocked until they manually approve each individual comment, which is crazy.
Looks like more people are hating on me than they actually are. Oh my god, how could that have happened? Oh, I guess we'll never know. I am worried. I sense big drama, especially on Twitter. I didn't see the N-word in old videos. Just saying. Oh damn. It's a little bit of sass.
Which is funny because a lot of these people probably actually use the N-word all the time. Okay, maybe not, but that's still, I mean, yeah, sure, if you use it in the video, it is forever, and that's probably going to follow you around. But, I mean, if you're 12, that's a little bit different. If you're not from America, also a bit different.
Isn't it? And to clarify, back when I was a teen, I said some stupid things I'm not particularly proud of. Things I no longer support. The statement she vaguely refers to was me quoting and referencing a movie clip I liked 12 years ago. And at the time, I didn't really understand the concept of who can quote a bad word.
Yeah, so here's the problem. We have all these bad words, like the N-word, and we tell people all the time, you can't say that word. Oh, but we're going to put it in these 68 movies that are coming out this next month. That's fine. It's totally fine to say it there in these movies, because movies are fake. Gosh, I hate that logic.
In reference to American culture. I am sorry about those statements, and I apologize to anyone who feels affected. I do not stand by it. I never intended any harm. I was trying, and failing quite miserably, to be funny. And to be honest, it actually feels good to talk about it, because she's held this over my head for 2 years.
Does she go around and like bash every musician that comes out in America for using the N-word? If she's not doing that as well, then this is just hypocrisy. And she's just holding on to this. This is stupid. This is beyond stupid to hold this over someone's head, because, yeah, it's not great. But the problem is, it's all over our public random stuff that everyone in the world sees.
Years. As people have started reaching out to me and other ex-members from Sad Milk, I now for the first time have gotten a proper look into the other side of this, and my suspicions of her being behind these rumors and smear campaigns is now confirmed. All these screenshots take place after we have left Sad Milk. We left in early October and she posted about us leaving in early November. Here she is, hyping up people who simply got banned.
Spend hours of life helping some YouTuber they love and... Honestly, Backbone's mods should honestly be paid. They should be paid, but they should also be forced to sign a contract if they lie about something. Although it doesn't help when your creator's doing the same stuff. OT to change in it. Jeez, I mean, she's swearing in these comments as well. Illuminaughtii is a crazy unreliable narrator in her Discord comments because I don't know, there's just something wrong here.
From, in this case, One Topic's Discord. They spend hours of their lives to help some YouTuber they love and look up to. The very least any content creator can do or should do is give the teams the respect they deserve. Mods have been the backbone of every YouTube community and so on.
It doesn't help, though, when she is actively, disseminating horrible information that's wrong on both sides of the aisle here. I mean, this is some crazy level of manipulation.
Fourth, this OT and click poo has me heated. These stupid fricks.
Jeez, I mean, yeah, look at that. None of these people can swear. Only I can swear.
Oof. How could you not care about the people who care about your community the most? How? I would like to point out the hypocrisy here, that in regards to my own Discord, she has been constantly suggesting me not being harsh enough. But when a staff member actually is kicked for breaking rules, she does this?
Yeah, I mean, that is complete hypocrisy straight from the top down. That's literally insanity.
All right. Here she is, twisting the facts about the VC she had with OT around the time the pedo was banned around 2 a.m. Note that the dates mean that she has been spinning this twisted narrative of what actually happened for a very long time, about 2.5 years. Here she is, still harping on the same Discord situations yet again, venting about it in some group DM.
Yeah, which means she keeps a folder with all these images and things in them just to be able to post them when she needs to push her narrative a little bit one way.
This is all after I had left Sad Milk. Venting and nitpicking my wording in a DM. At this point, the argument isn't even if the situation was resolved or not. And to clarify, yes, I do think there is a distinct difference between personally targeting a minor with nudes or extorting them for nudes versus posting some random lewd artwork from Twitter in an inappropriate chat room.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you do something stupid and you post it on a on a Discord thread, guess what? You're just gonna get banned, and you're gonna take your 14-day ban or whatever, or maybe permaban. Depends on how bad it was. But it's not the same as absolutely targeting someone that you're specifically singling out.
Both are bad, but they are not in the same ballpark. Me clarifying that is a very odd thing to nitpick and vent about. Here's the same chat room again, twisting a joke from a collab video from myself and OT. Trigger warning. Pedo stuff. We were watching an old video from OT and Click last night, and part of the discussion, they were discussing OT memes, and they made a driver of the...
Let's see here. Who cares? People make the driver of the free candy van joke all the time. I used to work in a white van that we bought a brand new white van for our job. And I was driving it, and we just didn't have the logos on it yet. And we kept getting stopped at, like, gates, and they're like, who are you? Why are you here? Give us your ID. I'm like, I'm here. I swear, I'm here just to do a job in a house. They're like, you have no logos in your van. We don't trust you. And a few people actually brought up the free candy van stuff.
The free candy van joke? Holy poo!
Wow.
What the frick? Really? A white van joke is your banger evidence? I mean, as if the Discord stuff wasn't already misinterpreted and overhyped enough. What is this? Are you serious? Here's the same chat room again, in what I'm assuming is suggesting that my god, I'm so down with the kids boomer joke.
Younglings, that's from That's from Star Wars, isn't it? That has literally like nothing to do with anything.
From Twitter has pedo implications. Oh, the younglings think I'm so cool.
Yeah, that's not how that works. What? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How do you combine those two together? That isn't just grasping at a needle in a haystack. That's grasping for a piece of straw in a needle stack. Yeah.
Oh my god, if straws were growing on straws, this would be the straws that were being grasped at, man.
Oh, okay. That works too. I still think it's a straw in a needle stack.
And what the hell? Here she is, leaking and nitpicking a message from me to my staff, proving that she did indeed have insiders in my mod team app.
Yeah. And it was probably... It's not even that she had insiders in the mod team. She herself was probably one of those insiders in the mod team. She was probably a mod in the Click server. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's okay, this is a psychotic reach here. What the heck?
After she and I had parted ways and the crossover staff had officially left. She says, yikes, and here is me saying that, oh yeah, you notice the staff has left again. Basically what happened is that OT and I left Sad Milk. It was becoming an increasingly tense environment with the group, and at the end of the day we had no real option but to take a step back. With that change, not surprising that staff from Sad Milk was asked to leave, and I hold no grudge over it.
I don't know why, but there just seems to be, it's rare when a collab channel really succeeds. They can work, but it's rare to see when they really succeed, especially when they share servers like this. This could have still worked if everyone would have stayed, separate, like, right? And Illuminati wasn't a raging psychopath. But this would have, let's say Illuminati wasn't a part of this for the most part, this probably would have worked, but they probably still would have had issues unless everyone had you got to keep your own mods in your own server. You don't have cross-server stuff, because the problem is then you're going to have mods that are going to be basically mixing server rules together and not paying too much attention. Some mods can do it. A lot of mods can't. So yeah, I don't know. I think it could have worked, but you got to keep a lot of this stuff separate.
The positive side to this is we will have more freedom within our own branch to form this place as we want it to be without too much influence from outside parties. Paired with that, I will now have more time on my hands and I can help with day-to-day tasks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in staff chats or DMs. I apologize for this rocky road and I hope it will be easier in the near future. I will also book yet another meeting, Lemao, in the near future. Love y'all. He just lied to his staff about what really happened. Well, I just said that people left.
How is that lying? That's making statements of fact.
They did though. They weren't asked to leave. Oh wait, I read that wrong, but he's pinning it on me. Why are you spying on my Discord, man? She's just spying on private conversation.
This is why I think it was all set up, because she obviously had eyes on the inside of the Discord. She knew exactly what was happening, knew exactly who was online at that moment in time, and knew basically the perfect time to insert a event that happened into the equation. I think that's kind of what happened here. I mean, it could be a coincidence. There could have really been a weird creep in this Discord who was an actual real person that just kicked this all nonsense off. But it just seems too convenient.
I'm having with my 7 mods, nitpicking specific wording. Yeah, I said she told her staff to leave because her staff left in the middle of the night without explanation. Nobody told me anything else. What exactly should I have assumed?
Right. It's all been prepped. It was all prepped in advance. She was going to have them leave anyway. This is all perfectly set up.
All I had was this when I specified to the staff that they were still friends. I want to let you know that one topic and I are leaving Sandmilk. There's no bad blood, but the project is moving in a direction I simply cannot follow. I know this might cause some conflicting interest for the staff that are both here and in Sandmilk, and if you want to talk about it, I'm always open. In my book, you're welcome independent of what projects are happening. And they're saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay here, I'm your friend, blah blah blah. But when I took the screenshots, the names were already white. They left in the middle of the night, and the only context I had to this was a random piece of a no mic VC.
The only thing that makes sense for this part right here is, yeah, I'm going to stay, but then Illuminati, these are all cross DMs, and they're like, if you stay in Click's chat, you're getting kicked out of mine, which is, a forced removal, effectively.
Chat that read like this. What the, of course, I'm just confused, understandable. Has everyone left Click already? Okay, I'm gone. Team Blair all the way. F those dudes? Of course not. The Click is going to be interesting from now on. Good luck with that. It's going to be interesting. Any coffee for this Click was my original home, but still F him. So I don't know exactly what was said about me, but I
Yep, I'm gonna pretty much guess that this was all a crazy setup.
suppose her telling her mods how horrible I was, just as was done in her video, isn't technically asking them to leave, I guess.
No, she probably literally forced them to leave. She probably gave them a choice. It's most likely that she told them, if you do not leave Click's Discord, you will be banned from my Discord. That's probably what she said, because it's not that hard to track that. You can see a lot of where your mods are.
It's probably worse. Going back to the rumor machine, here's the same chat room again. Digging through my very oldest content looking for dirt. Let's play Minecraft with Crazy part.
Okay. Isn't this like... This is like way old Minecraft, by the way. What do you mean it should be removed? And not monetized? Who cares if it's monetized? Do you know how much garbage is monetized on YouTube? People monetize apology videos, okay? Don't tell people what can and can't be monetized. Do you know what can't be monetized? All of my copyright videos. Why? Because I don't own any of that content. Should this be monetized? Probably not. And guess what? It's not going to earn more than a quarter.
2. Minecraft Alpha 1.2.6. Ah! The R word is here. Minecraft Alpha 1.2.
Oh, that's where the R word was? Okay, that's funny. That was like 2000, like what? 12?
6. Jesus Christ. I was a high schooler in like 2010.
Oh, 2010.
Playing Minecraft for my like 12 followers. Oh.
I wish I had 12 followers. Oh, wait. I mean, I got a bunch of people in the comment section who have 12 haters now. Which might be deserved. I mean, I had a what some will say a stupid take on the last Illuminati video, and I am learning more and more about how crazy Illuminati absolutely is. So I may be changing my mind soon, but we'll see.
And here's the chat that keeps going. Ever since she made some announcements, some fans are putting it together. While I am mostly the big bad bish, some are figuring it out. Listen, I have Click on video saying the F slur and R slur. He will put himself up.
The F slur? Okay, R slur, get it. N slur, get it. What's the F slur? Just the F word? I mean... Okay.
With his own ego, like I won't have to do anything of that. He's gonna muddy his own hands and unravel it himself. Oh yeah, it's in his old videos. They are still live on his channel.
So Illuminati is kind of living up to her name as a crazy conspiracist-like channel type thing, because that is some unhinged, crazy behavior.
Hobbies are a good way to spend your time.
Yeah, but her hobby seems to be terminally online, constantly looking for dirt, and then bashing her. I think that's the problem, though, for Illuminati, though. She is a glorified voice actor. 1 second. She's a glorified voice actor. She doesn't spend all her time doing research on papers and all her stuff. If she was spending a lot of her time researching all these channels and things like she voice acts for, then I think she would have a lot more. She wouldn't be in these stupid wars on her Discord. But from the way it looks, she spends, or used to, spends the most of her time on the Discord with her friends in effectively a giant hug box. And I think that was the biggest problem with Illuminati, and that's where she may have spiraled. So she really lived up to her name, didn't she?
What the hell? And this is her just hyping people up to be more hateful towards me because of my old bad jokes when I was a teenager. So much for this just happening to come out when I left Sad Milk. This, to me, looks like a very planned smear campaign, and she had a very big hand in it.
Yeah, this is what I think. I think the whole thing was a planned thing from the very beginning. Because all of this makes more sense when you look at it from an aspect of how can I get all my mods out of his channel? How can I get rid of, basically just torch the whole thing, but do it in a way to where none of the blame can fall on me? And the easiest way to do it would be to set up a predator and make it look like the Click did nothing, and time it to when he's sleeping, and then make it so one of her alternate mods, which are in the and which is probably her, doesn't do anything and just sits there and get the alt account banned for the mod not doing enough. Because if this, it depends on how these mods worked. Like, did Click actually have voice chats with these mods on a regular basis? Or were they just over text? Because if they're just over text, you can make anything up. You can be anyone.
Here is her talking again. I'm a level with y'all here, reading through the things and seeing this person in the chat excusing Click saying the R slur because it was 10 years ago and it's irrelevant is super young.
Yeah, that's absolute bullshit. That whole first paragraph is absolute garbage, especially knowing for a fact that Illuminaughtii used that word when she was with Tommy C. Nope. That's absolute garbage. And even then, it is a word, okay? It is not the world's worst thing. Actions are definitely worse than words in most cases. But geez.
Yikes to me. Again, I'm the same age as Click, and that word wasn't even in my vocabulary. Not
what a liar. That is absolutely a lie.
10 years ago, not now, because it was never appropriate. And here is the same chat keeping going, digging through even more of it. It's like, oh, here's another video where there was a bad word. It turns out even the random allegations against mine and OT's.
So let's put it this way. The Click has said what, 6 bad words in his entire YouTube career since 2015. I mean, I've seen channels that use the R word like 50 times in the first 10 minutes. Not to mention some of the better reaction channels, for instance, used to use the N-word every other minute.
This podcast we had to address last summer originated from this group with the same people.
Yeah, figures.
Involved hyping up the person making the allegations both publicly and privately, at least according to people that have come forward to me. So based on what I have seen, she along with some staff and others would sit in this chat and just hype up each other's
yeah, just a giant hug box. That's it. That's exactly what this is.
Hatred for us, grasping at straws. And if this wasn't enough, here's a former staff member of hers getting paid to sift through raw audio recordings.
That's funny though, is this staff member is now getting sued by her for this stuff, which is hilarious because this person wasn't actually an actual client or didn't work for Illuminauttii's LLC company. So so she's tried to sue retroactively for an NDA, which this is not an NDA. You can't you can't tell people. I guess the biggest part of this one was you can't. Sorry, I got text for a second. Let me rephrase this. You can't tell people that it's within the NDA to go and search for dirt on other people and then be like, oh well, you can still be sued because you were actively, stealing from another creator potentially. That's not how NDAs work. You can't enforce an NDA like that. NDAs only affect if it affected your personal property, like your IP. If it affects your IP in some way, you can sue for that, and that's going to work. But for whatever reason, Illuminaughtii is trying to sue another creator, Felix the Kit Kat, specifically for this stuff, and it's stupid. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Looking for dirt, more specifically the R word. I needed to work with this person to help me find Click saying the R slur in Sadmilk's raw audio. I can do that, just let me grab...
Yeah, you can't sue for this. This is not covered underneath an NDA. This is not how that works. I don't know why she would think that. I mean, yeah, paying someone $200 to go find this? Okay, look, let's face it. It's stupid, but people do pay. And if you're going to do this, do it in a way you can't be tracked. But people do this all the time. Illuminaughtii is not I guess, the one person that ever did this. People literally do this nonsense all the time. That's kind of how people work with places like CoffeeZilla. Now, CoffeeZilla does their own research, but there are other creators that definitely pay for other people to dig up dirt on other people. That's not a new thing. That's how
I'll be down.
work too.
She claims he said it in a Sadmilk video, but can't remember which one, and she's over her head. I'll pay you $200 to find it, and here's the payment. I mean, it's just an example. I'm sure there's more.
Wait, what? I need to work with... Okay. Okay, so someone claims that... Okay, so Someone else claims that the click said the R word in a Sad Milk video. I thought someone was using Illuminati's account, like the way it was being written, but she was referencing someone else.
Which I don't have a problem with the word R, but she does for some reason, even though she uses it in private.
Yeah, that's the thing. But here's the thing, you know, private and public, people have two different personalities. A lot of people consider their creator name separate from their personal name. So a lot of people can actually justify two different morality codes effectively. Like they're like, well, my public figure is like a boxer or something like that, right? Who's a tough psychopath who loves to use, swear words and whatnot. But my private figure is I love kittens and I'm a choir boy, And they use this trick in their head to effectively justify a lot of different things that they might do in public versus what they would do in private or vice versa.
Oh my god. Is this like serious drama? At this point, it's like, am I supposed to take this seriously, man?
I mean, luckily you're in a different country. Thank God, stay there for for your safety.
Be honest, I don't care if she uses the R word behind closed doors, but also to be this up in arms about it when others do it, that's just like rampant hypocrisy, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, even if she'd never used it herself, ever, it's still not something that, you can really be too angry about.
She actually paid people to dig up dirt and run smear campaigns on X.
And the worst part is she paid someone she knew was really hard for money. That was that one actually. I would say that would be a better example of financial abuse right off the bat than what happened with Oz at first. I'm not talking about later on when he was locked in a room with a lawyer. That was crazy. It was still stupid of him to do that, but I don't know, just knowing that someone's basically near homelessness and they're like, hey, I'll give you $200 if you do this thing. Yeah, that's not a good sign. But because people are going to be like, okay.
Ex-colleagues, specifically snooping through my oldest content, years of decade-old content, and compiling it. I was like in high school and still learning English, playing Minecraft.
Hey, that's not good enough. Click for content creators.
Alpha, are you?
You need to be perfect from the beginning.
Some rounding off thoughts. If she genuinely was so concerned about me being harmful, why did she never do anything?
Why? Because she creates blackmail folders on people. It's all about timing. It has to be about the timing. The problem is she chose a wrong group to do it to. She's too big of a channel. And then you're also big channels now, which means you guys now actually had pull against her for once. This is no longer her going up against Cruel World Happy Mind, who has a tiny channel compared to her. This is big channels against big channels.
Believed children were being harmed in my Discord, or I was a rampant racist, a homophobe, ableist, why was the best thing she could do is start rumors, vent in Discord, and vague post on Twitter? Why would she do this?
I wonder why.
When I left, I wrote out a pleasant exit message detailing I still considered everyone friends. In our last DM together, I wished her the best.
Let's see here. Yeah.
Why would she go through all this trouble, even spend money just to try to ruin myself and others?
Because it can only be her at the top of the pyramid. Pun intended.
Why would she do all of this?
It's easier to just kick people off the top.
Her a friend. Well, hello there. Let's click.
Okay, that was a weird edit. I'll go back to that in a second. It's mainly because only she can be at the top of her genre. That's kind of how she was on her way up with like r/ when she was doing the Reddit content and stuff. And it's narcissism at its finest.
From the future here, I was just finishing editing this video where I got a few more things from ex-staff of hers and other people that have burned that bridge. The first couple screenshots is from one of our ex-admins showing that they did indeed reach out to me about the issues in the Discord, and here is me confirming that I did indeed address it. Here is that same person talking to Blair about the information in the Discord, claiming that I did indeed take action when the information...
Yeah, what do you want to bet? This person was kicked out instantly when it popped up.
Reached me. So that's all well and good.
I mean, it just sounds like Illuminati just ignored that whole section.
There's a second story basically confirming my innocence and that I'm not a horrific Discord owner. But what has me a bit surprised is the next few screenshots. Here is Illuminaughtii having a conversation with the same admin, sharing the same kind of, dirt digging old videos that we've seen previously in this video. And she says, 16 seconds, the alt...
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Once she put in there, the alt account is going to love this. I wonder how many alt accounts she has. I bet you it's a lot more than one, and I bet you it's a lot more than just doobie smirts.
Account is going to love this. In the next screenshot, you can see her writing out a draft. I saw in the Sad Milk announcement, I follow all the milkmen, now I'm seeing the comments. We all agree it's obviously not on good terms. Blair...
Yep. Yeah. This makes sense. No, there is no way that she doesn't have more than one alt account. That's not how this works.
Tweeting about being stabbed in the back, etc., etc. This draft matches with one of the posts made by an alt account called Doobie Schmertz.
Yeah, I'm aware of this one.
And this is the entirety of the post. This is the truth about Sad Milk. It really looks like creative differences is dumb AF. Blair tweeting about being stabbed in the back, one topic, leaving his supporter server, and then so on and so forth. And I was a big fan of the click. I thought his streams were great, blah, 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 but then...
See, this is where I think the whole thing in the initial part was a setup because of this specific alt account. Going into this, and then she also replies to this account, which is also equally, I mean, it makes sense. If you're gonna create alt accounts, obviously reply to your own stuff, because that way it makes sense and drives more, I mean, this is what, Twitter? It drives more, not expressions, traffic. It drives more traffic. A lot of creators are obsessed with traffic for some reason.
So I think Blair saw some of his streams. He did a stream where he watched some of his old videos. So this is actually Blair on an alt account making the claims that Blair must have seen some of his old videos randomly. She totally wasn't paying people to dig up dirt. This is her on an alt account spreading misinformation and trying to enhance her own...
Yeah, and guess what? It worked for a while. It's a horrible way to do it. She absolutely deserves to be bashed for it. Especially considering she was dumb enough to tell her mods that she was doing it. She would have been fine and gotten away with it if, she wasn't stupid enough to literally tell anyone. You don't tell anyone you have alt accounts if you have alt accounts. That's the dumbest thing in the world. And I see alt accounts all the time in cybersecurity type stuff. I mean, it's the dumbest thing ever. Like, and... mine's the stuff I see is based off of being able to track it via IP and things like that. But average creators aren't gonna know any of that. That's not how they're not gonna be able to track this stuff.
An image. Here's another little funny post from the same account where she forgot to switch accounts and interacting with the Animal Crossing subreddit.
Yeah. Don't. If you're ever gonna do this, I'm not saying you should. If you are gonna do it, put it on a separate computer, completely separate. Put it under like a VPS and a VPN, and then you might be able to pull that off.
At least according to us. Here it keeps going. Hey, listen, Blair, I'm putting this all together. What kind of cover-up is this? Click was saying these bad things, created differences. Click is a liar. And not to claim someone topic is friends with someone pretending to be wholesome and good. This is all Blair replying to her own announcement.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Blair, basically, all she does and she has time for is her own Discord and all her chats before that. She's probably still in her Discord and, still talking to all the people in it. Because her channel, for the most part, is dead. For the moment. What she's probably trying to do right now is not post any additional incriminating anything out and waiting till she can somehow win in these lawsuits, which doesn't seem to be going her way. And then she'll probably restart. She probably will restart her channel, but maybe under a different name, or she's just going to wait until it just disappears. After 6 months, there's a good chance people will stop paying attention. Hard to say, considering how crazy this Saga seems to be. And I'm only in, the Click video. I can't wait to see the Oz video, because a bunch of people said I treated Oz way too harshly.
Under an alt account. And it keeps going. Click said the N-word and replies and claiming I'm not going to reply and I'm horrible. Here is a long...
Holy crap, that's a
long post. I'm
insane.
Not gonna... You can pause it if you want to read the whole thing. I don't want to. Here is the same account, Dubishmerz, on Twitter. This was an account I remember distinctly from 2020, 2021 that was relentlessly harassing myself, my friends, my...
Yeah, and this is where I keep, harping on the fact that I'm pretty sure that whole thing in the beginning on Click's Discord was all a setup.
Colleagues, my streaming colleagues, past colleagues, ex-Sad Milk members, community members, you name it. You name it.
The only thing that makes any sort of
At the
sense
time,
on how
I wrote
that
it off
all played
as
out.
a disgruntled troll with a little bit too much time on their hands and tried my best to ignore it. This was Blair all along. She was making alt accounts to spread her stuff because she probably knows deep down inside that the stuff she was digging up on me and all the stuff she was doing was so petty.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's super petty to freak out and say and complain and be like, this person said the R word 12 years ago in a video. So many people use the R word in every video every other minute. So many people continuously use the N word. The reason they stopped using it was because they started getting demonetized. And that's the only reason they stopped using it. Before, you used to actually be able to say that word and still be monetized. So it's... That's where it's, and this was only a recent change to YouTube, by the way. So I don't know.
That she could never actually make a public statement of it. So she did this just to get back at an ex-colleague. Yep. She did this. She paid people to dig up dirt, make alt accounts, harass me for months. Why?
Well, guess what? A lot of these people probably won't be doing a lot of collabs anytime soon.
Why? And it keeps going. Here it is on Twitter, tagging me, tagging...
I mean, they'll probably do collabs with the four, I'm sure One Topic and the Click do collabs all the time.
Herself. Here it's tagging Def Noodles. Here it's tagging Midnight Palma, Damien. It's tagging a bunch of people from the community and Salty. It's tagging Amanda the Jedi.
What? Do you just tag every random person that was potentially in one of these groups at any one point?
You had her on the guest on the podcast and you come after Amanda the Jedi? Here's Vamps getting the same posts.
What cat does this become? Jeez, you're just like blanketing like 1,000 retweets across everyone that you knew. Jeez.
Here arguing with a bunch of fans. Here's One Topic with his wholesome the Halloween special. Oh, Dubishmerz. Right there. Well, isn't that just wholesome and sweet? Here's Anne Mine with
I mean, yeah, she said it herself. She's a nosy bitch.
a cute artwork about myself, OT and Salty. And yep, Illuminauti's right there with her alt account. Posting this slanderous video that she edited together, collecting all the worst things she deemed from stuff I said when I was barely of legal age.
Okay. For those who were in my comments in my last video, you're right. I was missing a lot of information. The internet anarchist, I can't say that word. Internet anarchist video and Spoof's video didn't touch on enough stuff. So we will finish up all those videos today. I promise I'll get through them over the next 10 hours. All right. If there's any other videos that I've missed, you can absolutely put it in the comments and you can tell me why certain things I'm saying are wrong. Okay. I will totally accept it. Downvote galore. Have fun.
And it keeps going. Here it keeps tagging One Topic. Here it's tagging Blair again. It goes on.
Jeez, that is ridiculous. But, I'm not surprised. Should I be surprised? I don't know. I'm just not surprised anymore with how the internet works. Have you seen how comment sections on news sites work?
It keeps going. This isn't some small YouTuber beef. This isn't people being angry at each other because, ooh, someone did a bit more work in a project or not. I
think what the Click doesn't realize here is this is how a lot of YouTubers act. It's them and only them. And I think that's kind of the biggest problem that a lot of that YouTube creators have in general is it's only in it for themselves, and those who are like Click, who are kind of just doing it for fun and then eventually turning this into a career, they're kind of getting like slammed into the ground by the creators who really just do this for money. And I think that's the big difference between the two types of creators. I'm sorry. There's a third type of creator who does this for no money.
I need a break, man. I need a break. I'll add this part to the video, and I'll let the rest of the video play out as it was originally.
Okay, so this is where a lot of people said I was wrong. In my initial video when I blamed Oz for being stupid about his personal financial choices. So we'll see on this one. I still think that he still has a responsibility because it wasn't the same as, literally getting his identity stolen. He still had to sign. He had to personally choose to sign up for these loans and things. So that's where I'm a little bit against Oz in this case. I'm not saying that he's not being abused because, geez, some of the stuff I didn't know about the clicks video was just ridiculous. So when we get to the Oz video, I'm sure you guys will let me know how stupid I was in the last two videos, which is fine. That's fair. Do what you think is important. Is it playing? Yes. Okay.
Chapter 5, some other comments. Content warning, self-harm, and depression. Her video goes into a few more topics, how she wasn't paid, even though her own screenshot shows me resolving the payment after I...
Okay. Oh, this is because she was saying she was paying for everything in Sad Milk and no one else was paying for it. I think they fixed that within like a week or two, right?
Issues with a credit card, along with offering to help out further. And also some out-of-context schedules, which...
Yeah, this is hilarious, okay? Schedules are impossibly difficult to do anything for because of time zones.
I have no idea when the screenshot is taken or of exactly what. I have no real interest in addressing it, to be honest. It's just he said, she said stuff, and I think I've shown enough in this video to clear my name.
Yeah, okay. Well, click's obviously clear here.
And show that she has consistently presented half-truths and twisting events to their worst possible interpretation. My intention is that this is my last address of this situation. But I would like to quickly comment on other parts of the video. What she did to Wonder is the most gross expose I have ever...
Yeah, I saw that when she posted that note. That was stupid beyond belief. I've seen people do a lot of stupid things on YouTube. That was in top 10 probably really stupid things you could do. At least for your image, anyway. I mean, from a legal standpoint, there's nothing to stop her from doing this. But just from a moral standpoint, geez.
Ever seen. Not only does she openly share his potential suicide note, she also shares images and talking points suggesting this man is at the end of his rope. Kicking downwards is an understatement. Some people are commenting how she...
Yeah, lots of big channels love to kick downwards. And that's not even an understatement. They will do everything in their power to get their entire YouTube, what do you want to call it, community riled up to go bash another channel. And they'll do the dumb thing, which is what I hate. I hate it when people are like, don't go harass them. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't go harass them. Don't tell them their sponsors need to be removed. Don't tell them. You shouldn't do that. Because guess what? It gets your entire... like at least half of your group of YouTuber commenters will be like, well, I'm going to go do it anyway. And then they'll go on some crazy rampage on their channels.
Bought a nice car and leased to him and gave him a job. And I would like to point out that this in of itself is quite charitable. However, it comes with the cost of full control of his life. She is not just his friend, but his landlord, car leaser, and boss. Any conversation or disagreement...
Yeah, okay, so I'm not 100% sure on what's going on here with Wonder's... financial thing. There was a big overview of it in Swoop's video, but I guess there's a lot of information missing from what I've been told. She was trying to create a company town, from what I understand, which wasn't really touched on in Swoop's video. So I'm going to have to figure out what's going on in Wonder's video, which I will get to today, I promise.
Would be very far from a peer-to-peer interaction. And if she really wanted to help a friend who needed a car, why not just buy a used one and write over ownership?
Yeah, that's what what should have happened. She bought him a car that he obviously couldn't afford, right? It was a BMW of some kind. which I think she was obsessed with BMWs, which is part of the problem. So she wanted like all her team to have BMWs, which is the stupidest thing in the world.
Of it. It's cheaper, less dependent, and the wear doesn't matter. The whole thing seems very fishy to me, but I will let wonder speak for himself. She also dodged Oz's entire statement, which, yeah, I'll let him tell his side of the things too. My only personal wish is that she just stops. Stop obsessing over people in Discord.
Yeah, unfortunately, that never happened. She went and made it 100 times worse and then decided to sue a ton of people.
Stop trying to spin a narrative or dig up dirt just because someone left your collaboration channel. We just want to be left alone. Finally, I would like to thank my community for being respectful and patient, both towards myself and others throughout this whole ordeal. And I'm looking forward to getting back to business as usual and posting my silly videos and streaming video games. And as a small side note, just to address potential comments that might come up, yes, this video is monetized to ensure it's not throttled by YouTube.
Does YouTube throttle non-monetized videos? I don't think they do that. I don't think that's a thing. Does it matter if it's monetized? No, who cares? It's just having to go through this should be monetized for him. I don't think that's how it works. I've never had a video. To be fair, my most popular video is 11,000 views on it, so what do I know?
Because I actually want people to see it. Now, I am gonna go get drunk, and I'm gonna touch grass. Take care, and have a great rest of your day.
Grass is overrated, but yeah, fair enough. Okay, so yeah, that actually put a lot more perspective into a lot of stuff. I will be taking a look at One Topic's video today. I will be taking a look at this one here. And this one, but I thought there was another one too for Oz. Maybe there isn't. Maybe there was going to be a bigger one. So I think the biggest one might be Wonderstruck. I'll probably take a look at One Topic next, and then maybe I'll do it in order. I'll do it in order of when they were released is what I'll do. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure it's going to be entertaining in my comment section. All right. Have a good day.